All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Okay, so Federal Chair Jerome Powell has cut interest rates by 25 basis points as expected, but still very bullish for the market. We've seen things like BTC shoot up to 76,600. 76,800, 900. I think it's about to get to 77,000. We could take a look at the charts pretty soon, but this is very bullish for the market. Remember, we had a rate cut back in October. Now we have one, or was it September? I'm not sure. It was either September, October. We have one in now, and then we're most likely going to have one in December, and then going into the new year, there's probably going to be a few more rate cuts, right? So, very bullish for the market. And very exciting, right? Especially if you're invested in specifically crypto, because we're in a very bullish time for crypto. So this is very bullish for crypto because as they cut rates, more liquidity is basically going to get pumped into the market. And then this is also going to trickle down into specific stocks as well. So, and then we also have third quarter earnings with a lot of stocks that just happened. And then going into the new year, we'll have fourth quarter earnings. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the AI plays and the blue chip stocks are going to do pretty well. So I think it's going to be good. What's up, Jack Pack? But yeah, rate cut is very bullish for the market. And yeah, we're going to get another one in December and then a few more going into the new year, right? So let me share my screen so we can read this article. And yeah, let's do it. Jetpack, where are you from? 150K BTC run into the alts. We will moon soon. Yeah, I think so. So what I think by the end of this year, I think we get to 100K. But I think 150K is definitely going to be this bull run. So we probably get to 150 by April, because that's when the halving happened this year. So I think a year from there is typically when we hit the all-time highs for BTC. So I think 150 is fair. I think maybe 130 to 150. A lot of people are actually calling for like 200 to 250. I think that's a little too bullish. And to be honest, I'm not saying it can't happen, because we do have all these ETFs, San Diego, but I live in New York. Cool. Yeah, both places are very expensive as far as like taxes and stuff, but those are some nice places. I was actually in San Francisco, I think it was like a year and a half ago. But it obviously is a little bit different than San Diego. But they're still both nice places. Obviously, with homelessness and stuff like that, it hasn't been the same. But hopefully they fix the city up. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been calling for a lot of people have been calling for 200 to 250K. I think that's a little too bullish. So for me, to answer your question, when do I plan on leaving the market? I'm not sure yet, because I have to see how the market moves, but I'm kind of using BTC as the gauge, right? So for me, I think, personally, not financial advice, but I think to start taking profit, I think 100K is probably a good starting point to take off maybe like 20 to 25% of your portfolio, or maybe even 50%, depending on when you got in, right? Because everybody has different targets for when they want to take profit, right? It just depends on the size of your portfolio, your goals, and things like that. But what you don't want is to try to time the top of the market, right? Have some type of conservative goal and say, okay, maybe at 100K I take some profit, and then I leave the rest for maybe 130 to 150, and just get out of the market. I think everybody should, in my opinion, is not financial advice, but I think you should cash out of your gains during the crypto bull cycle, right? Because I've learned this from the last two bull cycles I've been in. It's good to cash out, in my opinion, and not try to convert to BTC, because you got to remember, a lot of people are going to be taking profit. Once BTC hits 100K, 130, 150, or if it goes to 200, there's going to be a lot of profit taking, right? And we will be going into a bear market, in my opinion, at the end of 2025, going into 2026. So I think that, start taking profit at 100K is my plan, and then maybe 130 to 150, right? Okay, let me start reading this article because I actually have to leave out. I can only probably do like 10 to 15 minutes today because I have to leave out pretty soon. All right, so let me start reading this. So it says Federal Reserve cuts interest rates by a quarter point. So it says the Federal Reserve approved its second consecutive interest rate cut Thursday, moving at a less aggressive pace than before, but continues its effort to right-size monetary policy. And a follow-up to September's, I didn't do a mic check, but I'm pretty sure. Jetpack, can you hear me? Yeah, it looks like my mic is on. All right, cool. It says, okay, so moving at a less aggressive pace than before, but continuing its effort to right-size monetary policy. In a follow-up to December's big half percentage point reduction, the Federal Open Market Committee lowered its benchmark overnight borrowing rate by a quarter percentage point. Yeah, so they did cut it in October, right? Or September, they took a break and then they came and cut back again here in November. But I'm pretty sure going into December there's going to be another rate cut. So it says to a target range of 4.5% to 4.75%. The rate sets what banks charge each other for overnight lending, but often influences consumer debt instruments such as mortgages, credit cards, and auto loans. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the mortgages, credit cards, and auto loans, they're going to be cheaper because interest rates are getting cut, right? People are going to be able to borrow more, and that's why you see like these risk assets like BTC and Nvidia. Well, I wouldn't call Nvidia a risk asset, but it's tech, right? So it's very volatile, so they kind of could throw it in the risk. But the market cap is pretty high for Nvidia, but the market cap is actually pretty high for BTC, right? It's in the trillions. But yeah, so that's why you see a lot of liquidity coming into the market when interest rates are cut, because now people could borrow money at a cheaper price and, invest that money and hoping to make more money, right, in different investment vehicles. All right, so it says markets had widely expected the move, and which I did. Everybody was saying it's going to be a 25 basis point cut. I would have been surprised if they did another 50, which was telegraphed both at the September meeting and in a follow-up remarks from policymakers since then. The vote was unanimous, unlike the previous move that saw the first no vote from Fed governors since 2005. This time, Governor Michelle Bowman went along with the decision. Right. Yeah, and the stocks closed positive. So very bullish. Let's take a look at, hold on, let me bring up coin market cap so we could take a look at BTC, because BTC is moving right now. All right, so give me a sec. BTC is moving. No problem, man, no problem. So to actually, people say, why do I talk about crypto a lot? So I'm only in crypto right now, right? Like this is kind of how I was trading stocks before, like in the beginning, but like when I was in college. But crypto is kind of like my asset class that I'm in. Now I was actually thinking about just creating a crypto channel, but the thing was I didn't want to be too niche. So this is why I went with the finance channel instead. And it's honestly better because I could talk about multiple different topics, but I see people take a liking to crypto because obviously it's new, it's volatile. And, every time we have these 4-year cycles, people get excited, right? So if we look at BTC, oh wow, it took a little dip, right? Because it was at 76,600. So yeah, it took a little. So we look at here, 76,600. So it took a $600 dip right now, but it looks like it's probably just retracing, in my opinion. But I mean, if we look at this chart, it's breaking out of this cup and handle pretty strong, right? So if you're shorting, because there's a lot of people on Twitter that are like, oh, I'm going to short BTC and stuff like that. I mean, if you're shorting BTC right now, you're crazy, in my opinion, right? If you're shorting anything in crypto right now, I think you're crazy. I mean, like to time these little dips, because if you look at the previous, right? Look at the previous run up. I mean, you could see little cracks in this run up, but I mean, to time those little dips, I mean, you're going to get wrecked, right? So I would be super, like, in my opinion, this is a time to be long on BTC or crypto just in general for the next six months to maybe a year, right? Because you got to remember, we do have institutional investors now buying into these ETFs. So, and what a lot of people are saying is that they don't think the bear markets are going to be the same, where we have those 70 to 80% drawdowns, and then you get a chance to buy. And what they said also was after we break all-time highs, that becomes the floor, right? So the all-time highs from the previous bull market was 69 to 72, 73. So that was kind of like the top. But now that becomes the floor. And they say we never break, like after every cycle, we never broke between. We actually did break that 20K, but it went down a little. It didn't go down too much. But, right in that range, right? Let's just say 67,000 to 72, 73. We're probably never going to break that amount again, right? So you're looking at BTC at 75,900. This is probably going to be the floor, right? Maybe that 65 to 75,000 range, but I don't think it would ever go lower than that, right? Because historically it hasn't. So, just think about that. And it's just getting more bullish, especially with a lot of people in office now that are more crypto friendly. And again, I'm not for either side. I don't do the politics, but I'm just stating the facts, right? A lot, and it looks like Gary Gensler might get fired, right? So that'll probably send, when that happens, which will probably happen sometime next year, that's probably going to be very bullish for the crypto market. So yeah, looking very bullish. I think, crypto investors are very happy. Ethereum. Ethereum's actually moving, right? I mean, if we look the other day, it was at around 2,500. Yeah, 24, 23. It's up $400 or $500. So that's like a 10, 20% day. On day one, he's going to get fired, right? Or close to it on the first month, second month. He's going to get fired for that first quarter for sure, right? And I'm not sure how that works, right? I'm not sure if he just comes in, okay, you're fired, or, there's a process, or does he have to finish up, or does he have some type of contract? Who knows how that works? I don't know if you could, but I was actually looking up because they were talking about getting rid of Fed Jerome Powell, but somebody was saying that Trump was going to keep him. But then I looked up on ChatGPT, like who is in charge of firing the Fed chair, and it said the president was in charge of appointing the Fed chair. But I'm assuming if they're in charge of appointing, they're in charge of firing. Any advice on holding gains in bank account? How much should we move at a time? I can't give specific amounts, but so any advice on holding gains in bank account? BSA Act. How much should we move at a time? So yeah, I can't really give specific amounts, but if you're referring to like if you cash out on Coinbase, I know somebody was talking about it. Where they were like, make sure that your bank knows that you are, that you're going to be moving. Like, let's say you start cashing out of crypto, right? Like BTC starts going crazy. It's 100K. And you start cashing out of crypto. And then you send to your bank and then they freeze your account. Well, you want to be prepared because you guys got to remember, during a bull market, Coinbase is always having like an outage. And if you're not like a long time member, like if you haven't been here since 2017 and your account is pretty new, you don't want to be caught up in a situation where you have gains, but now you can't move it to your bank, or at least at minimum, convert it to USD or cash, because I think you have the option to convert it to cash or USD. So at least do that. But you know how they have all those outages on Coinbase, and then you got to wait and stuff like that. I actually haven't had that in a while. I remember in 2017, I had that happen. But again, I was really new to the space. But now, I make sure my limits are up. You want to do that too. Make sure you go into your settings, and your withdrawal limits are up. You have a bank account set up to do wire transfers and stuff. Like, you want to do all that now, because once the bull market starts to go, they're probably going to start implementing stuff like, oh, we need to wait to verify you if you're not verified already. And then it's going to take 2-3 days. And a lot can happen 2-3 days, right? You could get a crazy pullback, 10 to 20% pullback. You want to be able to cash out and move quick, right? The crypto market's quick. And again, the bear markets are long, but the bull markets, a lot can happen in a week, right? Like your whole crypto portfolio can change in a week. And you don't want to be stuck there just waiting to be confirmed, right? But at minimum, at least, if you lock in some gains, put it in USDT or cash or something like that. So that way, you at least lock in some gains. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. They cut rates 25 basis points, and BTC is looking very strong, and I think we should, it should be good the next rest of the month. And I can't wait to see what's going on in November and December. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys at the next one. Take care, Jetpack, and see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.